Crossword puzzles, man. Oh, hello there. My name is Dr. Sheldon Harris Isaac Taryn, but you can call me Dr. Sheldon. Emphasis on the E. Over the past few years, using all my studies at some of the highest universities in the world, I have been in the process of trying to make the perfect clone of myself. In fact, to this day, I've been able to successfully create 825...
Hey, Doctor, watch! I'm about to jump off the roof of the lab! Don't worry, Doctor, I am okay, I promise. It's just a flesh wound.
824 clones of myself, and have analyzed the process for every single one. Now, despite these being clones of myself, no two things are exactly the same, and so each clone that I have made comes with a certain quirk that helps them stand out. So today, I thought I'd introduce you to just a handful of these clones, and talk with them about what it's like to have these quirks that can help them in the real world. Starting off, we have the first successful clone I ever made, clone number 1. Now, what happened to clone number 0, you may ask? Well, we don't talk about him. But anyways, welcome to the show, clone number 1.
Yes.
So, can you talk to us about what it's like to be the first successful clone ever made?
No.
What? Why not?
No.
Oh, right. I forgot. You only answer yes and no to everything, right?
Yes.
Right. I apologize about forgetting that. But that being said, doesn't it feel great to be known as the first successful clone of me?
No.
Thanks for coming on, clone number 1. Now, as you can tell, trying to get the cloning process correct is a very difficult task. So naturally, after clone number 1 comes clone number 2, who is a slightly improved version of clone number 1. Isn't that right?
Yes. For example, I have more words than I can speak, and don't just use yes and no.
See? That's awesome, and it shows the essence of improvement. Now, clone number 2, since you have a more varied library of words, give us your most complex sentence yet.
I just did. My word choice is very small, and trying to say more hard words will make me shut down.
Oh. Okay. Clone number 3. Now, you were the first clone that was the most normal speaking of them all, so congratulations on that. Oh, thank you. It's great to have a complex dictionary. However, it does come at a very slight cost that hinders my day-to-day operations. And that being... well... in exchange for speaking, you made it so I cannot stand. I see. Well, thanks for coming on regardless of that, and I wish you luck in trying to sort this issue out. Thanks. Well, after those beginner clones I tackled one step at a time, now I'd like to introduce you to clone number 4, who is the most advanced of all the starter clones. Ha! Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for the compliment. Not like it means anything coming from a loser like you. I'm sorry? Oh, no. I should be sorry. For you. I mean, you're a high school dropout who got drunk so many times on the bar he now lives on top of, until one day you got so wasted that you thought about the idea of making clones of yourself. Now, wait a second. You know that I'm an accomplished scientist who was able to make a lot of great technology in my time. Oh, my mistake. Because you totally created those cloning devices in your lab, even though you sold them from a top secret facility. And did I say lab? I meant your room, by the way. Your lab coat isn't even that genuine. You got it on sale at a Goodwill of all places. Oh, and let it be known to everyone out there, only the top scientists in the world have more anime posters than they do technology pieces in their lab. Isn't that right, Doctor? So obviously, not every clone is going to be perfect, and there will be some units in the pile that are truly defective. However, that didn't stop me from making more clones to try and hone in on my craft, as evident by clone number 5 here. Now, Clone 5, it says here you have a quirk where you take long breathing breaks in between words. Is that correct? Yes. It is. Alright then. Well, if you don't mind me asking, what's it like living with this habit of yours? Well, it makes... We're gonna be here for a while, I fear. Talking. Clone number 6. You have a different operating basis compared to the prior clones, which makes you run and perform actions in a very different fashion. Can you describe that for us? Of course. When you made me, I was created to run on Windows XP, which is a suitable choice, especially for running a complex program like a human clone, for instance. Well, I mean, that's why I chose it. And you're certain that there's no major issues with this, right? Oh, definitely. Except, occasionally I will crash. That's another clone I gotta fix later. Now, clone number 7. You run exclusively on cloud software, meaning you don't have any issues with faulty programming like clone number 6 does, correct? That is correct, but I do have issues when I disconnect from the internet. Right, should have considered that, but overall it's not that big of a hassle, I assume, for you, right? No, definitely not. And that's the internet I gotta fix in here as well. Okay, so now I have here clone number 8, and you don't run on Windows XP, and you're not on a cloud version, so you run fine, right? Mostly, yes, although I do have a slight problem that what? You didn't finish the sentence. Well, that's the issue. I can't properly finish my... Alright, that was you who could ever respond to me in a conversation. Well, have you tried adding extra nonsense words to the end of your sentence to try and counter your defect, perhaps? I have, yes, but the amount of words at the end of the sentence I cannot finish is always random, so there's no telling what words will and will not come out, raw spaghetti. Of all words you had to choose, why those two in that exact order? Well, it tastes good when you get used to it, like other things I eat, skunk juice. Please leave before I lose my appetite. And now we have the next clone, clone number 9, who, in testing, could actually finish their sentences. That is correct, sir. After hundreds of hours of testing at Henderson Labs, located at 128 North Bellows Street, Waco, Texas, I've been authorized for recreational use due to my grade B speech. Though they did mention I have an issue where I reveal too much information. Oh yeah, that would explain the comment I put next to your name that says, "Don't bring on, as he may reveal my lab's location." Yeah, I don't think it would be a deal for all the viewers at home to know that Dr. Sheldon's laboratory is located on the second floor of 397 Main. Alright, well, as you can see, the cloning process is very difficult. And as much as I hate to admit it, these quirks I mentioned are less so quirks and more so what I could call flaws. And there were a lot of clones I produced that came with these flaws. Clone number 10, described here in my notes as the Chatterbox. So, my friend, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing excellent, Doctor. I woke up this morning at approximately 7:29 a.m., just barely beating my alarm by around 10 or so seconds, so I shut it off before the blaring noise woke up everybody else in the sleeping quarters you have. Then afterward, I went to the kitchen to get a cup of coffee from the Keurig machine, but I had to make sure the coffee packet in the machine wasn't empty, and guess what? It was! So I had to get a new packet of my favorite original Donut Shop coffee blend and put it into the machine so I get the delicious caffeine burst I require. But of course, that involved waiting for the coffee to come out, so I waited and waited and waited and waited until finally... Alright, I'd like to welcome clone number 16. Come on down here, let's talk a little bit. You do know the chair is for sitting, right? What's sitting? Right, you're the clone that doesn't know how to do that, which leads me to my first question. How do you not know when to sit when you were built off of a sitting version of myself? Hey, that is a lie, and you know it. I have never done this sitting that you say a day in my life. I've always stood up. You had to sit in clone training. Hey, it's called cheating. I'd assume you'd be used to the term by now. Alright, Clone 17. It says here in my notes that you have a terrible sense of direction and cannot tell where anything is in your space. Do you care to say anything about that?
Yes, I would, Doctor. I would like to say that a heinous statement like that is an absolute lie and is severely untrue.
Excuse me, Clone?
Let me finish, Doctor! As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I have a perfect sense of direction and have no issue knowing where everything is.
That's great, but you do realize that you are not looking the right way, correct? And that's not meant to be an insult. The camera's over here.
Oh, really?
Well, then, my mistake, Doctor. The error is mine. Let me just turn to all the lovely people at home so that they can know that what these notes say about me is entirely factual and incorrect! Clone number 36. It says here you have an obsession with plush toys. Yes, that is correct. Can I ask why you have this obsession? Well, they're very comfy. Alright, that's fair. As long as you haven't named all the plushes that you have, and I'm fine with it. You did, didn't you? Just tell me their names. So here I have Clone 109, which according to my notes is said to have a drinking problem, which, first off, I'm truly sorry. I 100% understand your struggle. If you don't mind me asking, how did such a thing happen, if you're willing to share it? Why, thank you. It means a lot. Yeah, my drinking problem developed after a very bad breakup with clone number 69. And ever since then, it's persisted and really shown no signs of going away. I see. Well, I happen to notice that you have a glass of water with you here, so obviously it must be improving if you're drinking that instead of alcohol. Well, sadly, no. See, it's still a problem. I see. Note to self. Tell the lab to give me more specific notes. So now I am joined here by clone number 25, and it says here that you are afraid of flashbacks. When did all of this start for you, if I may ask? Well, it all started... Oh god. Hey, it's okay, my friend. Just remember the last time we had a conversation like this, when I told you to recite something. And here we have clone number 12, who has a flaw where all of their clothes are inside out. Now, I can sort of understand this if you were to wear a normal shirt to this, but you're putting on a graphic tee and even your jeans are inside out. How? Well, I mean, I'm really unsure. I just keep putting them on inside out and I don't really recognize it until it's too late. So do you just, never check if your clothes are inside out when you're taking them out of the dryer and folding them, for example? Well, I mean, I always try to check, but I just keep getting stumped and I just fold them like normal every time. Or, in this case, I keep folding them inside out every time. You anger me. And here we have clone 51, which... I would explain your flaw, but, I think you can describe it better than I can. Absolutely, Doctor! I am probably the loudest of all the clones in the entire lab! And my vocal cords are not balanced properly, and as a result, it is very common for me to scream at the top of my lungs whenever I talk! Yes, thank you, Clone 51. That's great. And it's even greater that you somehow are penetrating my new noise-canceling headphones. Oh yeah! It means anyone can hear me in any context and won't have any real trouble understanding exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that's great. I meant to ask you, how many clones have you given hearing damage? Quite a bit, Doctor! Yeah, that makes sense. And following up on Mr. Loudmouth is clone number 52, who is the exact opposite, as your flaw makes you speak very softly.
Yeah, basically, my vocal cords don't allow for as much range as everyone else, so I'm forced to talk very softly and also hold a microphone like this very close to my mouth so people can actually hear me.
Interesting. Now, you aren't required to hold a microphone that close to your mouth, so why do you do it?
Well, I've been told by others that my soft voice allows me to be a natural at ASMR, and I'm able to show my natural-born talent by holding a microphone this close to my mouth and speaking into it.
Very interesting.
I can also do things like tap on it and try to make specific sounds.
Oh, okay. That won't be necessary, but thank you very much, Clone 52. Next up I have here is clone number 62, who is wearing a lot of coats because, as it says here, tests revealed you're always too cold.
Correct. It doesn't matter how hot it is, I somehow am always cold.
I see, interesting. So, is that the reason that upon your arrival I started getting a very hefty heat bill? In the middle of summer?
Potentially.
And now here I have the literal polar opposite of Clone 62, Clone 63, who is always too hot.
Yep. I've tried everything. Iced on my back, hundreds of fans, even standing outside naked in a blizzard, but I'm always just too damn hot.
Yeah. Now, that third point. Please tell me you were at least wearing underwear or boxers or anything when you were doing that.
Nope. Nothing on at all. It was still as hot as an oven.
That also explains the police report I got in the mail last winter. Next up, I have here clone number 72, who... Yeah. I think that does all the explaining there. They're always asleep. It's funny, I don't think I've ever seen them awake. And when they sleep next to clone 51, you know they're never gonna wake up. Alright, next up is clone number 87, who was an experiment to see if I could make a clone with a robotic arm. And, as you can see, they have a robotic arm. So, how's that arm working out for you?
You know the answer to that question. It works horribly. I can't grab anything with it. It keeps falling off and I have to rewire and reapply it on, and it's a clunky mess in any context.
So, the answer is great, right?
If I could make this hand into a proper fist, I would punch you in the jaw so hard right now.
And here we have clone 155, who according to my external lab notes has a, quote, heavy potty mouth.
That's correct, Doctor. I happen to have the mouth in the entire lab, and there's no in here that can contest me.
I see. I apologize for whoever's editing this and has to censor everything he just said. Next up, I have clone number 29, who... Honestly, you just confused me. How the heck did this happen to you?
I mean, I have no idea. I theorized it was because you forgot to add new color cartridges to the cloning device when you were making it.
Oh, you know, that would make sense, but how would you describe that smooth jazz I listen to whenever I see you?
You know, it's called an iPod. I suggest you invest into it.
Okay, but even that isn't black and white. They don't make iPods like that.
It was a custom version.
Ugh. Next up here, I have clone number 144, who, for some reason, is visible in a lower quality. May I ask exactly how this happened?
Well, I don't really know. My only assumption is that you were trying to save on your internet bill and had the quality filter on the cloning machine very low for some reason.
Okay, but how would that mess with the way everyone sees you in the world?
If the quality's low for you, it's gonna be low for everyone you know.
Fair enough. Alrighty, clone number 176. Tell us about the flaw that you have.
I mean, Do I even have to describe it? Well, when you put it like that, not really. But more so, I meant, how the heck does this even happen? I mean, honestly, I have no idea. It just started happening after I was made. Every sentence I finished would cue a laugh track. Do you ever get tired of laughing? I'm sorry this flaw causes so much pain. You better be. Alright, next clone I have here is clone number 404. Alright, my notes say he doesn't exist. Why the hell did I even invite him here if he doesn't even exist? And next up here is clone number 47.
And next up here is clone 47.
Who has a tendency.
To
repeat every word I say.
Pickle fish lips.
God damn, can you just shut up for one damn? Next up here I have clone number 86. And you may notice I do not have my signature clipboard anymore. Well, it's because they eat clipboards. Oh, I don't. New clipboard needed. And here I have clone number 56, which is probably the most interesting of all the clones, as they speak exclusively in Japanese. Care to share some words of wisdom for everybody watching at home? Anata wa obakamono desu. Watashi wa anata ga kirai desu. I have no idea what you just said, but I assume it was some very kind remarks about me, so I thank you for that. Next up, I'd like to bring on clone 111, who is the tallest clone of them all. Come on in here, my friend. Let's talk a bit. How do you expect me to fit in that chair? The same way I expect you to fit in a room with an 8-foot tall ceiling. And here we have clone 99, who sounds a little bit off, but according to the lab report, it's because you speak backwards, correct?
And how do you?
Okay, well, whatever way you're speaking backwards, it's obviously made to sound like it's actual normal text. So, how the hell do you think this happened?
I have no idea. Maybe even process backwards.
Oh, you know, that would make sense. Thank you for pointing that out, by the way. Alright, next up here I have clone number 22. Right. You're the one who acts like a fish. And I don't have a fish tank handy, so... Drink up. Alright, next up I have 4 clones. Clone 41, 42, 43, and 44, who categorize themselves as a barbershop quartet.
Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here. Nice to be here. Very nice singing, guys, though I will say your group name needs work. I don't think the barbershop clone-tet is that creative.
Okay.
So here we have clone 101, which, as I noted here, likes to be a wise guy. Actually, Doctor, it's clone number 101.36785295016, infinite repeating. And my job description implies I do not like to be referred to as Mr. Wise Guy, rather as an honor roll version of you. Alright, whatever you say. So, clone 101 extra numbers. What is it you typically try to achieve in this lab? See, again, you got the name wrong. Let me spell it slower now. 101.36785. You know, he's been doing this for a long time, and I think at this rate he's never going to evolve as a person. And it just really saddens me to see the love of my life look like this. This is clone 119. They think they're my non-existent wife. Stop treating me like I don't exist, honey! We had something and you committed your life to this cloning shenanigans and have completely ruined our relationship! What relationship are you even talking about? That's it! I want a divorce! We're not even married!
Next up I have here, clone number 74, which says here on my external lab report that you're able to connect with people in a world beyond ours. Tell me a little bit about that.
Why, certainly. You see that over there, Doctor?
Yeah, it's just a camera.
Uh-huh. You may just see a camera. What I see is an audience of people watching your work and see what you've done.
I don't think I understand.
Think about it, Doctor. There's a world of people seeing what you do, and just maybe they may feel inspired to follow their dreams, like you did. Maybe that dream is to make their own clones. Who knows?
I mean, come on now. This has to be a joke, right? I mean, who the hell would dedicate part of their life to making clones of themselves? Like, what use are they gonna be? Are they gonna clean up the house or do your chores for you when you can't? It's ridiculous, man.
Hey, Sheldon! Are you gonna get your butt off that couch and clean your damn room? Or are you gonna wait to clone yourself and have one of your clones do it for you?
That's it. Alright, looks to be recording. Alright, glasses to look smart. There we go. Oh, right, clipboard. That's important. Okay. Remember, act smart. Oh, hello there. My name is Dr. Sheldon Harris Isaac Taryn. I say pickle fish lips! God damn! Can you just shut up for one damn second? I did not think that would break the clipboard.